Well, hello again, all my fluid art friends. I'm still without resin. I've got some resin being delivered tomorrow, so I'm gonna do, or try to do, some more heat embossing. Now, this is what I did yesterday. I don't know if I can get that powder off that's off to the edge, but I was told something I can do before I heat emboss, and that is to use a little paintbrush, a soft one, to kind of go around and get rid of the dust around it, the heat embossing dust. Anyway, I'm going to try two colors today. I'm only going to do one on camera. See how it turns out. Okay, I sanded these down. They have resin on them, so I sanded them down. I'm going to put them right here. And what I was thinking of doing was, I've got a red and I've got a gold. And I got these really pretty flower ones. I have no idea where I got them from. I'm serious. So I probably either got them from Joann's or Michael's or Hobby Lobby. I have no idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing the flower in the corner like this, okay? So first thing you want to do is you want to put your stamp face down. Now you can make one of these. It's not that hard to make. It's just wood, square dowels, then wherever you're going to put your hinges at, like this, you want to carve out a little bit so when you close it, this is completely flush with that. And then this is a piece of, just a regular piece of plexiglass. Okay. Okay. So you put your stamp face down, your cling stamps, and then you close this, and that'll keep it, as long as you've got this in the corner like this, matched up here, on each one of them it'll do the same thing. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of this Versamark. Oops, and I almost forgot. This is now this is just a little homemade bag. It's got baby powder in it. It's a little stocking, a knee-high. Crap, I got them for 50 cents for two of them at Walmart. Just a cheapy one. You want to put this down because it kind of makes it anti-static. So everywhere that the glue isn't, your powder won't stick. Okay, now I've got my glue on there. Let me do it a couple more times just to make sure. I'm just tapping it all over the stamp, closing it up because you don't want it to dry out. Okay, now looks like I got something on there. I don't know what it is. Okay, then you close it. It's still where you had it before. And I am just smushing it down, not real hard, and I'm just making sure that the whole stamp makes contact with it. And very, very hard. Oops. See, now I see a place I didn't get it all the way on there, so let me put a little bit more of this on. And see, and that's why this is really good. You can stamp a second time without having to worry about it matching up, because it'll match up. And I see my stamp everywhere. Now I'm just going to move it off to the side because I don't want to get any of the heat embossing powder on it. And then what I'm going to try after I put the red on here is I'm going to try putting 2 leaves right here and doing them in gold. Now I don't know, see, I'm afraid of the red mixing where I don't want it, which is why I didn't stamp the leaves yet. Okay, I'm being careful to open this. Okay, now you want to get yourself a piece of printer paper. I already folded it so that way I know it's gonna have a little valley for the powder to go back in. And what you want to do is you want to coat your where your ink is at. This is Versamark. It's just a clear ink. Okay, and you can see I got it everywhere the ink was. I got a little bit right next to it that doesn't belong there. And you gotta be careful, because until you heat emboss it, it's gonna brush off, and I just brushed into one of the petals. Oh, that red right there is not a petal. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but let me try that. Kinda. Yeah, kinda put the petal back. Okay. Then you want to take your container and I had closed it, which I probably shouldn't have done. And then you want to just put your powder back in there. This powder does go everywhere, so you got to be kind of careful with it. Okay, I'm going to just put the sheet over there. Okay, and then you're going to heat emboss it, and I'm going to heat emboss it first. I'm not sure if you're supposed to do the second layer next or not, so this is just the Doris heat tool. Now I am doing it, I'm looking at it from the side because I'm heating it up and I'm kind of watching it to make sure that I see it getting glossy. You can see it's getting a little darker is what this powder is doing. Be careful when you pick it up because you don't want it might be hot. Looks glossy in some spots but not glossy in the others, so basically what you're doing with this heat tool is you're melting the little crystals onto the glue. And everything's glossy, so I'm going to put that one over to the side. I'm going to do another one because I want that to cool down. So, put your tile in. You put your powder on. I don't know how much powder you're really supposed to use. I hope I didn't overuse the powder. Then you're going to do this again. And I just noticed something. I wanted the red flower where there wasn't that much red background, so I'm turning it around so I have more of a black background where the flower is going to go. And it looks like everything's on there. Reason I am doing the powder one at a time is because I have heard that this ink can dry very quickly, so I am trying to get the powder on there as soon as I put the ink on there. It's basically, it's called a watermark ink. It's just a clear ink. Okay, if you see any little stray bits around it, you want to very carefully, don't go into your design, but you want to just go around and use a brush to get rid of them. Okay. Okay, I'm going to heat emboss that, and then I'm going to do, I'm not going to do the other two with these flowers. I want to see how the leaves look next to it. So, let me heat emboss this real quick. I'm sorry. I have no way to fast forward through this. I'm just going over it with my heat gun. Well, my heat embossing tool. It's not really a heat gun. And you'll see the little crystals melting. Basically, as they're melting, these are turning a little darker. I can't tell you what your powder will do, because I think every powder is different. And that looks like it's done. So let me put that little guy over there. Now I'm just gonna take this off for now. I might be reusing it again. And I wanted to do a couple of leaves, so I am just peeling off the backing. Now that's still got glue on it, so I don't want to use that. So I'm just putting my leaves where I want them to be at. Closing the plastic and pushing it down to make sure it's picking up the leaves. And it did. Okay, now I am going to put just a little bit more powder on here, only because I don't want it to stick. Okay, now I am hoping that this works, and that, see, I'm not sure if I should have done it both sides before I heat embossed one side or not. And I'm just making sure that I'm getting ink on the whole stamp, closing it up so it doesn't dry out. And I see the whole stamp on there, so move that off to the side. Get my paper out. Get my gold. Now I'm going to try not to get any on the flower, so I'm just sprinkling it where I see my leaves at. And I'm going to make sure that I hold it up so the excess powder doesn't go across the flower. So I'm going to do it this way. Okay, and I'm not going to heat emboss that one yet. I'm going to put the leaves on the other one real quick. So let me put my powder back in here. I'm just shaking it off to the side just to get rid of the little teeny tiny bits that might be on there. Okay. I know this seems like a lot of work, but it just looks so pretty. Okay. Little bit of powder where I know the leaves are going. Stamp. You want to make sure you get enough glue on both of those pieces. But see, that's the beauty about this is I can push them down, and if it doesn't look like there's enough ink on it, but there is, I can re-ink the stamps and put it back on there again. Okay. Piece of printer paper to catch the excess powder. I thought this was supposed to be a gold, but we'll find out. It says gold on it, but it doesn't look that bright to me, so I'm not happy about that. But hey, first time using any of these colors. Okay, it's gonna, all the excess powder is gonna go off this direction. You just want to tap it. I'm just kind of making sure that any of the excess powder is not there outside of the leaf, because you don't want that, because I had that happen with the white over there. Okay. Okay, paper over here. Lid back on. Maybe it'll brighten up as I'm heating it. I don't know. You can definitely, if you're looking at it, oh yes, it's brightening up. Oh yes, it's brightening up. I like that. Almost looks like gold leafing, to tell you the truth. Okay, I will bring them up to the camera in a minute. I want to just do these real quick. Okay, once you see that it's melted, and with this gold, let me see if I can get it caught underneath the light. There you go. Well, sorry for the glare, but that's the only way you can see how shiny that gold is. So, what I'm going to do next is, and I have to wait for my resin to come in, is I'm going to get rid of the excess powder that's still on there, the baby powder, or anti-static powder, whatever you want to call it. And then I'm going to resin these little guys. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Now I've done two color, and I'm almost positive. Oh, well, phooey. I got some red powder right here. I didn't realize it. Okay, well, I don't know if I can sand that off or not. This is why you check your piece very, very well before you put the heat, when you tap the powder off. So, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Two color heat embossing. And I thank you all for your support. I hope you learned something from it. And hopefully I will go back to doing resin, although this weekend I may be putting a couple of videos up of me over at Fearless Me Art and Design Fearless Me TV. Her link is over to the, I'm trying to see what, over to the side up there. And I will be over at her place doing a live with her on her channel. I don't know if we'll do a live on my channel, but I'll be recording some videos, and it's going to be acrylic pouring, which I never really did a whole lot of, but I'm going to find out. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I love the resin right out of you, or in this case, I love the heat embossing right out of you. Hope to see you in my next video. Bye for now.